The story of lost time. In a small town surrounded by greenery of trees and blooming gardens, there lived a man named Victor. He was an ordinary history teacher at a local school, but his life was full of unusual moments that left a deep mark on his soul. Victor always dreamed of a big trip, of seeing the world outside his small town, but every time something prevented him from realizing this dream. His days were routine: morning classes, evening notebook checks, and occasional meetings with friends. He loved his work and his students, but sometimes he was overcome by the feeling that time was running out, and he still did not have time to do something significant. His only consolation was books. They transported him to distant lands and eras. One day, during one of his walks in the park, Victor met an old woman named Anna. She was sitting on a bench and feeding pigeons. She had kind eyes and a smile that could melt any heart. Victor approached her and struck up a conversation. They quickly found a common language, and soon began to meet often. Anna told him stories about her youth, how she traveled the world, met interesting people and experienced unforgettable moments. Every time Victor listened to her stories, his heart was filled with envy and admiration. He understood that Anna's life was full of adventures, and his own life was spent in gray everyday life. But Anna always told him, "Don't be afraid to dream, Victor. Time is not an enemy, but a friend. It gives us the opportunity to make choices." One day Anna invited Victor to her house. She wanted to show him old photographs and letters from her travels. When they entered her cozy apartment, Victor noticed a lot of photo frames on the walls. Each of them contained a story: the smiles of friends, landscapes of distant countries, moments of happiness. In the center of the room was a table with a large album. Anna opened it and showed Victor the pages filled with vivid pictures. "It was my first time hiking in the mountains," she said, pointing to one of the photos. Victor looked at her face, and it shone with joy. "And this is a trip to the sea. I was young and carefree," she continued. Victor felt something snap inside him. He realized that he wanted to experience the same moments of joy and happiness. He asked Anna, "How did you manage to do all this? How did you find the time?" Anna smiled and replied, "I just decided. I realized that life is too short to put off dreams for later." These words sunk into Victor's soul. Since then, it has started to change. He began to plan his weekends so that he could spend more time in nature, travel around the neighborhood and meet new people. He even signed up for a photography course to capture the moments of his life. A few months passed, and one day Victor came to Anna with the news: he had decided to go on a trip to Europe. He packed a small backpack and bought a train ticket. Anna was happy for him and gave him an old camera that she used in her youth. "She'll bring you good luck," she said. Victor set off on his journey with excitement and trepidation. He visited many cities, saw magnificent architectural monuments and met amazing people. Every day brought new discoveries. He walked the streets of Paris, enjoyed the sunsets in Rome and felt alive. However, after a month of traveling, Victor received an alarming message from Anna's neighbors. She was admitted to the hospital with a serious illness. Victor returned home with a heavy heart, realizing that his time with Anna might be limited. When he arrived at the hospital, he was greeted by a pale Anna with a smile on her face. "You're back. What happiness," she said weakly. Victor sat down next to her and began to tell her about his adventures, how he stood on top of a mountain and felt free, how he photographed sunsets and made new acquaintances. Anna listened to him with interest and pride. But soon she began to get tired, and Victor noticed it. He held her hand and felt the life drain from her body. At one point, Anna said softly, "Victor, I'm glad to see you so happy. Don't forget to dream and keep living life to the fullest." These words were deeply imprinted in his heart. A few days later, Anna passed away. Victor was left alone with his memories of her and the lessons she had given him. After the funeral, Victor returned to his usual life, but now everything has changed. He continued to teach, but now he had a new inspiration. He began to tell his students about the importance of dreams and travel. Several years have passed, but the memory of Anna has always remained with him. He often returned to the places she described to him, and always took her camera with him. Every time he pressed the shutter button, he felt connected to her. Victor realized one important truth: time does not stand still, but it gives us the opportunity to make a choice to choose life to the fullest or to remain in the shadow of our fears. He chose the first one. And even though Anna was no longer around, her spirit continued to live in his hearts and in every frame he captured. After all, life is not only about how much time we have, but also about how we use every minute of that time. This story reminds us that dreams can become reality if we only decide to make them happen. And even if someone leaves our lives, their lessons stay with us forever.